Good afternoon, all of you. So today we have two classes. So I'll have 5 minutes break after first class. Then we'll again we can continue. I'll just have 2 minutes gap in between these two classes. So we'll continue with what we were discussing in the previous class. We have discussed this publication ethics and research ethics in the beginning classes. Then we have discussed about the various form of presentation and writing a research article. Then we had started with the intellectual property rights, IPR. So we had discussed day for yesterday what are the different types of intellectual properties and why we require these things. And in that, we have discussed little about patents, trademarks, and copyrights. So we'll continue from that. I've told that these also include GI tags, industrial designs, trade secrets, etc. So we'll see those things one by one. Then we'll little discuss more details about the patents today. So this geographic indications or GI are signs used on goods that have specific geographical origin and possesses qualities or reputation that are due to its place of origin. Like the day for yesterday, we had I had told that Darjeeling tea. So when people say about Darjeeling tea, they had certain things in memory that this particular aroma and this particular color will have that particular. So they want to go for that particular tea. So if it is a particular tea brand is having a GI tag, so they can easily find out that this particular brand belongs to that particular area. Similarly, various other things also we'll discuss today. Agricultural products typically have qualities that are derived from their place and of production and are also influenced by specific factors such as the climate and soil. So like Darjeeling when we are talking, so it is grown in that particular area. So in that particular climate and particular soil variety, we get that particular aroma. So in other places, it may be slightly different. So people, if they are very possessive about that particular thing, they can go for a particular brand of that. So which can have the GI tags. They may also highlight specific qualities of a product which are due to human factors that can be found in the place of origin of the product, such as specific manufacturing skills and traditions. Therefore, yesterday also I have told you about that Tirupati Tirumala Laddu. They have also having that's now the GI tags. So that particular laddu is made up of the ingredients which are very specific, and the process of making that laddu makes it very special. So all the times the taste and the consistency, the texture, everything remains the same. So they follow strict guidelines for preparing that thing. So they have gone for a GI tags for that particular manufacturing of that food product. So that will have their some that is signature smells, signature texture, and signature color, and signature of everything of their tradition also. A geographical indication points to a specific place of origin of production that determines the characteristic qualities of the product that originates therein. So various products also we can have that GI tags. It is an exclusive right given to a particular community, hence the benefit of its registration are shared by all the members of the community. So GI tags when we are giving, so it is not given to a person or a particular company or something like that. It is given to that particular area. So recently, some of the things I have just mentioned here. Recently, a few years back, the GIs were given for various goods in India, like Chanderi saris. There they have that particular sari, that Kullu shawls. In Himachal Pradesh, they have this beautiful shawl made up of very nice fabric. So they have also gone for the Kullu shawls that GI tags. weight grinders. This is a very peculiar thing I just came across, and I was not knowing about this. In Coimbatore, I think they have gone for this GI tags for weight grinders because they make this dosa idli batter, and they use a particular machine for that. It's having a stone as well as a metallic container, and it grinds and it makes it is in the proper consistency of that batter. So they have gone for the GI tag of this weight grinders. Yeah, because I have heard that in that area there are 70 more than 70 manufacturers of these weight grinders. So they have huge demand for this particular material. So when it is so much of things are produced in that area, having that particular stone and that particular containers, everything is similar, so that they get the that consistency of the batter all the time. So they have gone for the GI tags for the weight grinders in Coimbatore. So these are the few of the things which have been registered with geographic indications. Recently, that Kolkata Rasgulla also they have the GI tags. Keeping in view of the large diversity of traditional products spread all over the country, the registration under GI will play a very important role in future growth of the tribes, communities, skilled artisans associated in developing such products. Because many of the tribal things they produce a very nice products, and if they are having this GI tag, so people can understand that this particular material or that particular process belongs to that community, and if somebody is interested in that, they can go for that particular thing. So this way, geographical indications or the GI tags are quite important, and more information you can get in this particular website. We'll go to the next one, that is the industrial designs. So industrial designs refer to creative activity which results in ornamental or formal appearance of a product, and design rights refer to a novel or original design that is accorded to the proprietary of the validity of the registered design. Like one particular, we are making a particular instrument. So if we are making that instrument, it will look like a aluminum box. So, but if it is an attractive exterior will be there, so the person will can be easily like it, and they can go for that particular design. So industrial designs are also comes under this particular IPR. So industrial designs are an element of intellectual property under the TRIPS agreement. TRIPS agreement is the trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights. So this you can see the details in Google also. So this is the agreement which is administered by World Trade Organization, that is the authority for this particular trading in the whole world. That is the WTO. They have this TRIPS agreement. So under this TRIPS agreement, minimum standards of protection of industrial design have been provided for. And as a developed country, India has already amended its national legislation to provide the minimal standards for various industrial designs. The essential purpose of the design law is to promote and protect the design element of the industrial production. Like I have told that whenever we are having an industrial product, so it should have a aesthetic design. So that design has to be protected because somebody has put a lot of mind and energy and also money for that preparing that particular design. So that has to be protected. It should not be simply just a copy, so that the right product and the duplicate product will not be able to differentiate. So for that, that is given this particular industrial designs are given this IPR. It is also intended to promote innovative activity in the field of industries. So, how nicely we can represent our that product. So, a lot of innovations are involved. So, a lot of thought process are given how to promote that particular product. So, if somebody will see and like it, then they can go for a particular. If it is a appealing color, and if that shape is also nice, and so sometimes that a simple bottle. So if the shape of the bottle is easy to hold, then people may go for that particular bottle. So this is the type of, just for example, I have just told. So this type of industrial designs are also included here. The existing legislation of an industrial design in India is contained in the New Design Act 2000. So this, if you want, you can go for this various acts and all. It is easily available in internet. And this act will serve its purpose well in the rapid change in technology and international developments. So whenever in this changing world, a lot of improvements are going on, a lot of developments are happening. So this will protect the various innovative ideas in the industrial design. India has also achieved a mature status in the field of industrial design, and in view of globalization of economy, the present legislation is also aligned with the changed technical and commercial scenario and made to conform the international trends in design and administration. So whatever in the internationally it is accepted things, India is also following the similar way, and it is having its own legislation ready for this protecting the industrial designs. This act is also aimed to enact a more detailed classification of design to conform the international system and to take care of the proliferation of design related activities in various fields. So these are some of the details about the industrial designs, and these are also protected. So more details you can get it in that particular website I have given, or simply by just searching in the internet also, lot of information, so we can get it. Next is the layout design of integrated circuits. So integrated circuits are used everywhere now. For all the electronic items, they have this ICs, and mostly integrated semiconductor integrated circuits means a product having transistors and other circuit elements which are inseparably formed in a semiconductor material or an insulating material or inside the semiconductor material and designed to perform an electronic circuitry function. So these are the integrated circuits, and there is a protection of the layout design for this particular circuits. The aim of the Semiconductor Integrated Circuits Layout Design Act 2000. This is the act which is in place in India. So according to this, this is for the protection. This provide the protection of IPR in the area of semiconductor integrated circuit layout designs. That is the SICLD, Integrated Circuit Layout Design. The main focus of SICLD Act is to provide the routes and mechanisms for the protection of IPR in chip layout design created and matters related to it. So whenever they are preparing this in integrated circuits, so the layouts are also quite important. So and they put a lot of thought, a lot of research for finalizing this layouts. So they also want to protect the layout design of this particular integrated circuits. The SICLD Act empowers a registered proprietor of the layout design an inherent right to use the layout design, commercially exploit it, and obtain relief in respect to any infringement. So somebody should not copy exactly same thing and they produce the inferior quality products. So to have that thing, this protection is given to this layout design of various integrated circuits ICs. The initial term of the registration of this particular layout design is for normally 10 years. Thereafter, it may be renewed from time to time. Department of Information Technology, Ministry of Communication and Information Technology is the administrative ministry looking after this registration and other matters. So if you want more details of this, you can follow this particular website, or also simply from the internet, you can get more information about the various layout design, what are the protection one can go for. Next is the trade secret. So trade secret are confidential. In the previous class also I told that these are confidential business informations. These are confidential business information that provide an enterprise a competitive edge because if there are two competitors in the same field, so trade secret will have give the protection for their particular business output. Some of the examples here I'll just I'll give the Coke recipe or the Pepsi recipe. It's a trade secret. They don't share it with others because PepsiCo are competitors. So it has its own taste that was having a slightly different. Both are similar products. I'm not promoting actually that soft drinks, but I'm just giving a example that the particular substance may have their own set of recipe, like Maggi masala. So that Maggi masala, that particular substance is having lot of ingredients. So that is the trade secret of the Nestle company. So similarly, that Eno, when we get some acidity, so we have that Eno, and I have not found that any substance which is competing with Eno, because that recipe is such that it acts very nicely and the taste is also quite nice and the effervescence is good. So they have their own trade secret for that particular recipe. Similarly, KFC, they are selling non-vegetarian food. I'm not promoting non-vegetarian, but they have this 11 species spices in their ingredients. So that 11 spices are the trade secret of their particular whatever thing they prepare. So like this, various companies here, they have their own trade secrets. Usually these manufacturing or industrial and commercials, these are normally commercial secrets. And also these trade secrets include the that customer database for various companies. So what are the customers, who are the customers? So there they maintain the secrecy. So that is also comes under this trade secrets. These include sale methods, distribution methods, consumer profiles, and advertising strategy, how they advertise and what exactly they do in that advertising strategy. Those things are also IGCAR is waiting. So list of suppliers for a particular manufacturing company and their clients, all these are trade secrets, because if two companies are working in a similar field, so if the list of suppliers are open, so they can there will be some negative competitions. So for that, the list of suppliers for various manufacturing companies are also trade secrets. The clients also it comes under this. Various manufacturing processes are also trade secrets. Contrary to the patents, trade secrets are protected without registration. So patents has to be registered, but these trade secrets, without registration, they can be protected. So there is a different rule for the trade secrets. A trade secret can be protected for an unlimited period of time, but a substantial element of secrecy must exist. So just like that, it cannot have trade secrets. So why this secrecy has to be maintained? It has to be justified. So what is the Ajikar is still waiting. So trade secret can be protected from the unlimited time, but substantial element of secrecy must exist so that except by the use of improper means, there would be difficulty in acquiring the information. So that is the rule of the secrecy, maintaining the secrecy. Considering the vast availability of traditional knowledge in the country, the protection under this will be very crucial in reaping benefit from such type of knowledge. The trade secrets, traditional knowledge are also interlinked and associated with the geographical indications also. So these are the GI tags, the traditional knowledge, and this the trade secrets are sometimes related to each other. Like a particular that laddu that is having the GI tag, so that can also have a trade secret also. So there may be a overlapping between these things. So there may be a linkage and there may be some association between this trade secrets as well as GI indicators. Next is the protection of new plant varieties. So the objective of this is to recognize the role of farmers as cultivators and conservers, and Achikar is still waiting. So this protection of new plant varieties it's a special case. It is not normally included in all the types of which we have discussed till now. It is a little different. So that's why it is coming at the end. The objective of this act is to recognize the role of farmers as cultivators and conservers and the contribution of traditional, rural and tribal communities to the country's agro-biodiversity by rewarding them for their contribution and to stimulate investment for R&D, for the development of new plant varieties, to facilitate the growth of seed industry. So whenever there are new plant varieties or new seed type of things, these are also protected. That is a separate format is given for this. The Plant Variety Protection and Farmers' Right Act 2001, this is the act for the protection of the new plant varieties, was enacted in India to protect the new plant varieties. This act came to force in the 2005 only. Recently only it has been in place. To begin with, 12 crop species have been identified and registered. It is rice, wheat, maize, etc. India has opted for sui generis system instead of patents for protecting new plant varieties. So India has not gone for patents because patent things, we'll discuss what those things which are not included in patents. So India has gone for this sui generis system. So sui generis system, I'll just mention, you can see in the internet also all the details about this. The sui generis system is a unique customized legal framework designed to protect specific types of knowledge creations that do not fit into any traditional IPR categories. So we have discussed various IPR categories. So if something is not exactly comes under any of these particular various IPR categories, so that system is given in the sui generis system. So India has opted the sui generis system for this particular protection of new plant varieties. Department of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmers Welfare is the administrative ministry looking after its registration and other matters. So more details you can get it in this particular website, www.plantauthority.gov.in. So if you want further information, more information are available in internet. But for our discussion, this much is sufficient. So more details we'll be discussing about the patents now. So we'll start with patent. We have discussed in the previous class also. We'll repeat the same thing. And in our question answer manner, I have just discussed this about these things. So first is, what is a patent? A patent is a statutory right for an invention granted for a limited period of time to the patentee by government for excluding others from making, using, selling, importing the patented product or process of producing that product for those purposes without his or her consent in exchange of full disclosure of his or her invention. If somebody has invented something, so that can go for patenting so that the others will not, the person who is having the invention is known as the patentee because that person has gone for the patent. So the government issued the patent authorization so that others will not be able to sell that product. They will not be able to make that product. They will not use that product, or they will not import that patented product or the process, and also without their consent. So the patent, whatever consent is given to a particular company, then they can do that particular whatever selling or manufacturing, but without consent, it will not be, it will be protected. So this is about patent. So what are the criteria of patentability? So what are the things can be patented? That we'll discuss now. An invention to become patentable, subject matter must meet the following criteria. I have given few things here. First one, it should be novel or new, because this is our patent is about innovations or the invention. So whenever we are talking about invention, it has to be a novel or a new thing. Next is it should have inventive step, or it must be non-obvious. It should not be normal. If it is a very normal type of thing, then it will not get the patent registration. Next is it should be capable of industrial application. Just for the sake of patenting or something, the patent will not be certainly provided. So it should have some industrial applications. So in that particular Indian specifications, the patentee or the person going for the patentee has to write that where the product or the process can be used in various industries and what will be the probable applications. Then only it can be go for the patent application. And also it should not fall within the provisions of Section 3 and Section 4 of Patents Act 1970. There is a Patent Act 1970, so which is still followed. So it has two sections, Section 3 and Section 4. We'll discuss it today with a little more details. So if the products or the processes comes under and Section 4 of that Patent Act 1970, so that will not be patent. That cannot be patented. So in general, what can be patented? An invention relating either to a product or a process. So patent can be filed for a product like a substance, or it can be also for process by like a manufacturing process or a process for purification of some substance. So those type of things can be patented. An invention relating to either a product or a process that is new, involving inventive step and capable of industrial application can be patented. So that should be a inventive step involved in various whatever steps are included, and also it should have proper applications. Without proper application, it will not be accepted for patent. However, it must not fall into the categories of inventions that are non-patentable under Section 3 and 4 of the 1970 Act. So now we'll discuss who can apply for patent. So a patent application can be filed either by the true or first inventor or his or her assignee, either alone or jointly with any other person. So if I am carrying out a research and I am developing a product, so I can go for the application of the patent. So if I feel that few of my colleagues are involved with me during the particular patent preparation and they have contributed immensely during that particular product formulation or the development of the invention. So I can include or we can combinedly formulate the patent application. However, legal representative of any diseased person can also make an application for the patent. So if somebody, a person X, so let us assume that a person A wanted to have a patent and he has prepared everything, but the person expired during that particular work. So, but that person is having a legal representative. So that legal representative also can file the patent. That is also acceptable. So, so any persons who are conducting that, we are inventing something new or a product or a process can go apply for a patent. So next question is, does Indian patent gives protection worldwide? So this is not true. Patent protection is territorial right, and therefore it is effective only within the territory of India. So if I'm going for an application in India, it will not be valid worldwide. It will be valid in India only. However, filing an application in India enables the applicant to file a corresponding application for same invention in convention countries. So there is a convention countries which are related by some convention within or before expiry of 12 months from the filing date in India. So within 12 months of filing the patent, they can So whether Indian patent give protection worldwide? No, it will not. So it will be valid in India only, but within 12 months, the person patentee can apply in other countries also. So there are some convention of countries, so they can apply there. Before the 12 months period, therefore, separate patents should be obtained in each country where the applicant requires protection. Hello. Yeah, ऐसे करेंगे या इसका previous? Yes. So I think there are some technical problems. So I'll again repeat from this. So we all know what is a patent now. So in the previous class also explained, and today also I have mentioned it. So what are the criteria of patentability? I'll just repeat if I have missed it because there are some technical problem during this presentation. So an invention to become a patentable, it should have this criteria. First one is it should be novel or new, because whenever we are talking about patents, it should be for a invention. So whenever we are telling about it's an invention, it has to be a new and novel thing, and also it should not have it should have a inventive step. If it is a process, it should have an inventive step, and it must be non-obvious. It should not be very normal. So it should have something new or something special in that process. It should be capable of some industrial applications. Like whenever we are going for a product or a process, it should have some end use or other end applications. Although without this end applications or industrial applications, the application for patent will not be accepted. And also, it should not fall within the provision of Section 3 and Section 4 of Patents Act 1972. We'll discuss more details about that particular Patents Act, Section 3 and 4. So what can be patented? So an invention relating to either a product or a process that is new, involving some inventive step and capable of industrial application can be patented. So however, it must not fall into the categories of Section 3 and 4 of 1970 Patents Act. So who can file a patent? A patent application can be filed either by the true or first inventor or his or her assignee, either alone or jointly with any other person. So like I have given an example that if I have done a new novel research and I have come up with a new product, so I can go for the patenting of that product. But if I feel that my three colleagues have contributed immensely during that development of particular product, so I can include or we can combinedly formulate a team who will go for the patent application. And so a person or a group of persons who have done that innovative work can apply for the patent. And if due to some reason the person who has invented that particular product or process expires, his or her legal representative also can make the application for the patent. So now next is does Indian patent give protection worldwide? No, it is not true. So whenever we are going for a patent in India, it will be valid in territory of India only. It will not be valid worldwide. Patent protection is territorial right, and therefore it is effective only within the territory of India. However, filing an application in India enables the applicant to file a corresponding application for same invention in convention countries. So there are some convention due to which some countries are related. So within or before the expiry of 12 months from the filing date in India, they can apply for the that patent some other countries also. Therefore, separate patent should be obtained in each country where the applicant requires protection of his invention in those countries. So there is no patent valid worldwide. So if we are going for a patent, it will not be valid everywhere. So along with our Indian patent, many people go for US patent also. So that will be valid in India as well as US. So if similarly, we can choose another few countries where we feel like that our product or process is going to be used. So we have to apply in those countries patent also. So how can I apply for patent? A patent application can be filed with Indian Patent Office either with complete specification or with provisional specification along with fee as prescribed in Schedule 1. There are some in Indian Patent Office, you can get it from the internet and literature also. Schedule 1 describes the whole procedure how to apply for a patent. So patent can be filed, the whole complete specifications can be filed together or part of the specifications or the product or the process can be filed in the provisional manner so that we'll start the patenting process. So in that way, we can we can apply for a patent. In case the application is filed with provisional specification, then one has to file complete specification within 12 months from the date of filing the application. There is no extension of time to file the complete specification after expiry of this period. So if I am going for a patent, so I have completed part of the things and certain things are small things are remaining. So I can go for the provisional, we can put provisional patent application. In that, all the details I may not mention, but still I can apply for the patent. So within 12 months, so that is within 1 year, I have to give the complete specification of the patent. Otherwise, the validity will be lost. Is there provision for filing patent application electronically by online system in India? Yes. From 2000 onwards, the Indian Patent Office had put in place an online filing system for patent application. So more application for filing online application is available in the website of Patent Office, that is the www.ipindia.nic.in. So you can get the more details of that and what are the exactly you can apply for the patent by online system. You can get the information from there. So in that particular patent office, you can put the online application also. So these facilities also available for filing trademarks and geographical indicators, GI tags also applications. We can file in the same that portal, that option is available. All published and granted patents can be searched online based on a variety of search criteria. So whatever granted patents are all listed in that particular website. So we can get the information. Here I have given the website address, so you can search in that particular site to see that what are the things has granted the patents. So more details can be obtained from there. So what cannot be patented? As I have mentioned, there are Section 3 and Section 4 of the IP Act. So in the Patent Act says that few of the substances cannot be patented. So that we'll discuss now. As per Section 3 of the Act, the following are not inventions and hence cannot be patented. So Section 3 says that these are not inventions. So this will not be included in patent, because I told in the beginning that the patent has to be a new novel invention type of thing. And there are, Section 4 tells that there are certain substances or the substances related to a particular industry which will not be included in patent. So first we'll discuss about Section 3 of this particular act. The first is an invention which is frivolous or which claims anything obviously contrary to the well-established natural laws cannot be go for patenting. Just one example, few examples I'll give it here. First is, if a product like a machine tells that it has a efficiency of 100%. We know that 100% efficiency is not possible. So it will be against the thermodynamics law. So according to this law, so this is contradiction. So if a machine claims that it has a 100% efficiency, so that cannot be patented. Okay. So similarly, if some perpetual machine, somebody claims that it can run forever without any energy for the whole lifetime. So that is not possible. So for anything to run, we need some form of energy. If some machine claims that it is like that, so that will not be given the patented. So the first tell that invention which is frivolous or which claims anything obvious contrary to the natural laws will not be given patent. Next is an invention, the primary or the intended use or the commercial exploitation of which could contradict the public or morality, or which causes serious prejudice to human, animal or plant life or health or to the environment will not be granted patent. So if something has been prepared which is against the ethical standard of that particular area of that region or the country, so that will not be given the patent. So one example I have here written: devices for various illegal activities or promoting some harmful practices like some drug related things. So that will not be given patenting. So drug means abuse of drug. So that process will not be granted by patent. The next one is the mere discovery of a scientific principle or formulation of an abstract theory or discovery of anything living or non-living substances occurring in nature will not be given patented. So here I have told that patent will be given for an invention. It will not be given for a discovery. If something exists in the nature, so it will not be given the particular patenting. So discoveries, if something is living, non-living things are discovered, that will not go for a patenting. Next is the mere discovery of new form of known substances which does not result in the enhancement of known efficiency, like an isomer of some form of complex or combination of something, that will not be considered for patenting. So mere use of known processes, machines, apparatus, unless such known process result in a new product or employs at least one new reactant, that will not be given the patent. So here I have given just explanation that for the purpose of this clause, salts, esters, ethers, polymorphs, metabolites, pure form, particle size, isomers, mixture of isomers, complexes, etc., they are considered to be same substance unless they differ significantly in properties with regard to efficacy. So that those things will not be given patent if the first substance is already patented. Next, it continues as per the section 3, a substance obtained by a mere administrative admixture resulting only in the aggregation of the properties of the components thereof, a process for producing such substances will not be given patented. Like a water purification system, if there are two beds, one is the sand bed, one is some mixed gravel bed. Two beds are used, and if somebody wants to mix both the things together in a single box and they told that this is a new product, that will not be given the patent, because all the two previous boxes have already got patent. So this is just a admixture of the two things. It will not be a new invention. Next one is the mere rearrangement or arrangement or duplication of known devices, each functioning independently of one another in a known way, will not be given patent. Like we are just putting certain component of the things in a different place in that same device. So that will not be a new thing. So that will not be given. Next is a method of agriculture and horticulture also prohibited for applying for patent. New seeds that's why I have included in a new format altogether at the end. That is a special case. But normal agricultural method or the horticultural method, that is for mass people. So those things will not be included in patent application. Next is any processes for medicinal, surgical, curative, polyhaptic, diagnostic, therapeutic, etc., or any processes for a similar treatment of animals to render them free of disease or increase their economic value or that of their products will not be given patent. Next is the plants or animals in whole or any part thereof other than microorganism, but including seeds, varieties, species, essentially biological processes for production or propagation of plant or animals will not also be given patent. Similarly, a mathematical or a business method or a computer program per se or algorithms are not given normally patent, like a statistical model, which is used for various statistical processes. If there is a slight modification in that statistical process, that also will not be given patenting. So next is the literary, dramatic, or musical or artistic work or any other aesthetic creation whatsoever, including cinematographic work or television productions. Those are also will not be given patent. A mere scheme of rule or a method of performing mental act or a method of playing game, how to play a particular game or like that. So that also prohibited from patenting. A presentation of information, how the information is presented, that is also not included in patent. Topography of integrated circuits. I have told in the beginning that the design of the integrated circuits is given that particular year, but that will not be included in the patent. So the topography of the integrated circuits are prohibited from patenting. Also, an invention which in effect is traditional knowledge and which is an aggregation or duplication of known properties of traditional known components are not included in patent applications. So these are the section 3 of the Patent Act. Also, there are section 4 of the Patent Act, so which prohibits the invention related to atomic energy. So we are from Department of Atomic Energy, so we know about these things. So any invention which is related to atomic energy are not included or not patentable. So they cannot put for patent application if the substance of the process or the products are related to atomic energy. According to this particular section 4 of the Act, no patent shall be granted in respect of an invention relating to atomic energy falling with subsection 1 of section 20 of Atomic Energy Act 1962. So there is a Atomic Energy Act, it is published in 1962 version. So in that section 2020 says that no patent shall be granted with respect to invention related to this atomic energy. So according to the subsection 1 of the section 20 of the Atomic Energy 1962, no patent shall be granted for invention which in opinion of central government are useful or relate to the production, control, use or disposal of atomic energy or the prospective mining, extraction, production, physical, chemical treatment, fabrication, enrichment, canning or use of any prescribed substance of radioactive substance or the ensuring of safety of atomic energy operations. So if anything is related to atomic energy, like somebody wants to have a uranium based compound compound or metallic form or new form that. So those things will be prohibited for application of patent. Similarly, various other elements like which are used in our in the nuclear industry or atomic energy, like zircaloy, zirconium niobium alloys. So those type of materials are also something related to that will not be given patent. So this is the first part of today's lecture. So next lecture I'll be having after 2-3 minutes. Thank you. Good afternoon, all of you. Welcome back. We'll continue the 11th lectures of this particular series. So these things we have covered the publication ethics, research ethics, and report writing, IPR related things. So today we were discussing about patents. So we have discussed in the previous lecture that what are the things can be patented and what are the things cannot be patented. So under section 2, two sections, that is the section 3 and section 4 of Patent Act, we cannot patent for various products or processes. So which are very obvious or which are simply the discoveries, those cannot be included in patent filing. And also, if it is related to atomic energy program, then it will not be granted patent will not be granted for that. So we'll continue from that. So can any invention be patented after publication or display in the public exhibition? Because here we are all researchers and we normally publish our work in various journals or present in various exhibitions or various present at various conferences or something like that. So if we are presenting our work, whether that can be patented or not, that we'll see here. So generally, a patent application for the invention which has been either published or publicly displayed cannot be filed. So normally people say that if it is invention is already published in a journal, it will not be granted the patent. But there is a rule. However, the Patent Act provides a grace period of 12 months from filing a patent application from the date of its publication in a journal or its public display in an exhibition organized by government or disclosure before any learned society published by the applicant. So if somebody publishes a work in a journal, so that is possible to go for a patent application. So but within 12 months it has to be completed. So otherwise that will not be valid. So this option is there. So or if it is already published, there is a scope that it can be also applied. Application can be it can be given for a patent application. Next is how a patent specification is prepared. So whenever we are applying for patent, what are the things we should include in that patent application? That is known as patent specification. A patent specification can be prepared by the applicant himself or herself or his or her registered and authorized agents. So if I am going for a patent, so I can prepare on my own. Otherwise I can hire a registered and authorized agents who can prepare the specifications, because these are little stringent things we have to make. So some guidelines will be better. Some persons who are acquainted with this type of patent application, so we can take their opinion. But as it is a new invention, we cannot open to anybody. So authorized persons only can be included. The patent specification generally comprises of the title of the invention, indicating its technical field. So whatever we are applying for patent, that title has to be done. It should convey the meaning properly. And also that specifications should include prior art. Prior art means what are the things has already been carried out in that particular field that we have to mention as a prior art in the specifications. Any drawbacks of the prior art has to be clearly pointed out, like research. Whenever we are talking about research, what are the gap areas? So prior art is nothing but the literature survey, or the drawbacks are also to be included. That is, the gap areas also has to be pointed in that. A concise but sufficient description of the invention and its usefulness has to be included in that particular specification. Drawings, if any, like if you are having a process, so we can put a drawing in that, and details of the best method of its working. So all these things has to be included in the patent specification. The complete specification must contain at least one claim or statement of claims defining the scope of the invention for which the protection is sought for. So, for where we are the scope of invention, that has to be clearly mentioned. So these are the things which we should include in patent specifications. So then that patent specifications mean the patent application. All those things has to be clearly mentioned, like the what is the title of that particular thing we are going for, and what are the things as already people have carried out. So that will give us a thing that what how our work is novel and what is the new thing we have carried out compared to the previous work we have which are previous work exist in that particular area. So next we'll see what is a provisional specification. So I told in the beginning that while applying for a patent, all the things can be applied together, or a provisional application can be done in between. So here we'll see what is that provisional specification, how this works. So Indian patent law follows first to file system. So what is fast to file system? First to file system is a patent for an invention is granted to the person or the group of persons or the entity to file a patent applications regardless of the actual invented first. If it something has been invented, but that inventor is not applying for a patent in the beginning, somebody else is also is having the similar work. If they are applying for first, the patent may be given to that person who has invented it at the later stage, but they have applied for the first stage. It is not an exact plagiarism. The similar products, if it, because novelty is important. If both the things are similar, the first application who has applying for the first time, that person will be given the patent. So it is better to go for some provisional application in the beginning. So provisional specification describes the nature of the invention to have the priority date of filing of the application in which the inventive's idea has been disclosed. So provisional applications will have the title and all, but all the details may not be complete within that time. So, but the patentee or the person applying for the patent can start applying so that the priority date of filing will be there. It must be followed by a complete specification describing the details of the invention, allowing the statement of claims within 12 months after filing the provisional specific application or the specifications. So, whenever we are applying that provisional specification, the work may not have been completed during that, but within 12 months, we have to complete the things and we have to give the all the specifications. The complete application has to reach within 12 months of the applying for the provisional specifications. Otherwise, it will be cancelled. If the complete specification is not filed within the prescribed period, the application is treated as deemed to have been abandoned. So the patent application will be cancelled. It will not be considered for grant of the patent. Okay. So next, is it necessary to file a provisional application? It is not always true, but it is a good way, because I told that Indian patent law follows the first to file system. So if we are applying the provisional, our claim will be there definitely. So generally an application filed with provisional specification is known as provisional application, which is useful in establishing the priority date for your invention. So if you are applying first, your priority date is the first for the invention. So moreover, filing of a provisional application is useful as it gives sufficient time to the applicant to assess and evaluate the market potential of his invention before filing the complete specification. So during that time, before filing the complete specification, we can evaluate the what is the market potential, what is the applicability, and all the various aspects of the patenting we can understand during that particular 1 year period. So before that 1 year period, we can give the full specifications. However, it is not necessary to file an application with provisional specifications, and one can file application directly with complete specifications. So it is not mandatory, but it is advisable in most of the cases. But if somebody feels that my things are ready and I may not disclose it in a phase-wise manner, so that person can go for complete specification, and then the person can go for filing the patent. So this is about provisional application is mandatory or not. Next, we'll see that when is the application for patent published. So every application for patent is published after 18 months from the date of its filing or priority date, whichever is earlier. So, however, the following applications are not published, like application in which secrecy direction is imposed. If some secrecy is imposed, that is not published. If application which has been abandoned under section 9.1, so under section 9.1 says that if the person has not given the full specification within 1 year, so that has been abandoned or the rejected, the case has been rejected. So that thing will not be published. And also applications which have been withdrawn withdrawn 3 months prior to 18 months. So they have submitted everything within that 12-month period, but just before the 18 months they have where they had some other maybe implications, so I have withdrawn. So that will not be published. Otherwise, in normal cases, every application for patent is published after 18 months from the date of its filing or priority date, whatever, because there are some priority date that we'll see. So is there any provision in the law for early publications? So yes, there is a provision for early publication. That's why I've written that priority date is also there. Yes, the application can make a request for early publication in Form 9. This is the Form 9 is the form, whatever application we send for that patenting. Form 9 along with the prescribed fee has to be paid for early publications. After receiving such request, the patent office publishes such application within a period of normally 1 month, provided the invention content thereon does not relate to atomic energy or defense purposes. So if it is not related to atomic energy or defense purpose, so they can publish it within 1 month also, that is possible. Otherwise, 18 months period is the normal route and 1 month is the early publication route. So next is a patent application once filed examined automatically? No, it is not. So whenever we are applying for a patent, it will not be examined automatically. The patent application is not examined automatically after its filing. The examination is done only after receipt of request of examination, either from the applicant or from a third party. So if I am applying for a patent, it will not be granted as like that. So I have to first I have to apply for it, then I have to apply for the examination. First is the application, next is the request for examination. So after getting the request for examination only, the authorities examine the patent and then only it will go for the questionnaires and the patent granting. So when can the request for examination be filed? So I told that without examination request, it will not be granted, the patent will not be granted. So when the request can be sent for the examination, the request for examination can be filed within a period of 48 months from the date of priority or date of filing the application, whichever is earlier. So within that period, the request has to be sent. First, it has to be applied. Then within 48 months, the examination request has to be given. So for more details, kindly refer to Rule 24B of Patent Rule 2023 as amended in 2006. So there are certain rules and how and when the details are available there. So is there any provision for an early examination? There is no provision for filing a request for early examination. The applications are examined in the order in which requests for examination are filed. So application, that is in the previous I told that there is a quick route, but for application of examination there is no quick route. So whoever applied first for the examination, in that order only it get examined. However, an express request for examination before expiry of 31 months can be made in the respect of the application filed under Patent Cooperation Treaty known as National Phase Application by Patent of Prescribed Fee. So there is a patent cooperation treaty is there. So in that there is a certain relaxation can be given. So what happens to a patent application once it is examined? So after filing the patent, we request for examination. So what will happen after its examination? So after its examination, the patent office issues an examination report to the applicant, that is the patentee, which is generally known as first examination report or FER, we say. Thereafter, the applicant is required to comply with the requirements within a period of 12 months from the date of FER. So after the examination is over by the authority, so they send back the first examination report. So we have to comply with the first examination report within a period of 12 months. So in 1 year time, we have to comply the everything. In case the application is found to be in order for grant, the patent is granted. So if after getting the first examination report, if there is nothing, so that will be nil in the examination report, but normally it contains some things to comply with. So in that first example, the examination report, whatever is requested for complying, so that has to be complied and sent to the authority again. So in that case, if the application is found to be in order, then the patent will be granted. But in case the found is granted, the patent is granted, provided there is no pre-grant opposition filed or pending. So if during that period some pre-grant opposition is filed, so that also again be held back. A later patent is issued to the applicant. However, in case of pre-grant opposition is pending, further action is taken after disposition of the pre-grant opposition. If during that period somebody apply for that opposition of that particular patenting program, then that has to be first solved. Then only the patent will be granted. So what happens when the application is not able to meet the requirement within the prescribed time? If the applicant is not able to comply with the meet the requirement within 12 months period, or does not submit the documents which were sent to him for compliance within the said period, that is the 1 year period, the application is deemed to have been abandoned. So within 12 months or in that stipulated period, if it is not met, normally it is abandoned, that patent application is abandoned. Is there provision for extension beyond the time limit of 12 months? There is no provision for extension of time period after this 12 months. Does applicant get an opportunity of being heard before his application is refused? Yes, that is possible. If applicant has not complied with the requirements within that 1 year period and no request of hearing has been made by the applicant, then the controller may not provide the opportunity of being heard. So if immediately if the patentee is not applying for some hearing, then it will be abandoned. However, the controller shall provide the applicant an opportunity of being heard to the applicant before refusing his application if a request of such hearing has been made by the applicant within 10 days in advance before expiry of the statutory period. So if 10 days advance the applicant or the patentee is applying for some hearing, then it can be there is an opportunity is given to the patentee for hearing. So what are the various stages which are involved in grant of a patent? So like whatever we have mentioned right now about the patenting process, the process is little lengthy. It's not very short. We just go and apply and we get the patent grant. It's not like that. It's a lengthy process because it's a intellectual property. So after filing the application of the grant of the patent, a request for examination is required to be made by the applicant or by third party, and thereafter it is taken up for examination by the patent office. Like I have already mentioned that if you simply apply for the patent, it will not be examined and patent will not be granted. After the application, we have to send a request for examination of that particular patent. So in the beginning of the application, it can be a provisional, but within 1 year of the provisional application, we have to give the full specifications. Then only we have to go for the request of examination. And after getting the request of examination only, the patent office examine the patent. Usually the first examination report is issued and the applicant is given an opportunity to correct the deficiencies in order to meet the objections raised in the said report. So during the first examination report, that is the FER, whatever queries or deficiencies are mentioned, within 1 year, the patentee has to reply for all those things. So after that, he has to submit. If the things are in place, then it can be granted. The applicant must comply with the requirements within the prescribed time, otherwise the application would be treated as deemed to have been abandoned. So within that period, if it is not applied, then it will be abandoned. When all the requirements are met, the patent is granted and the notified in the patent office journal. So when it is granted, it will be notified in the patent office journal. Then only we can say that yes, the patent process is completed. The law provides for both pre-grant and post-grant oppositions. So the pre-grant, post-grant oppositions is also allowed. After getting also the grant of the patent, there is possibility that somebody may oppose that. So again, you have to defend that. So what is the time limit for filing post-grant opposition in the patent office? The time for filing post-grant opposition is 12 months from the date of the publication of the grant of patent in the official journal in the patent office. So once the patent office published it in the official journal, within 12 months, that opposition has to be done. Otherwise, the patent grant is considered as a grant of that particular patent. Okay. So this is the process where various steps are related queries about patent process. So now, is it essential to deposit biological materials in the International Depository Authority? Because biological materials, it's having a separate section. So if some biological materials are applied for patenting, so is there any authority in which we have to deposit that particular substance? If the invention uses a biological material which is new, it is essential to deposit the same with the International Depository Authority, that is known as IDA, prior to the filing of the application in India in order to supplement the description. So if the biological materials are involved in that particular patent work, so it has to be submitted to the IDA. The description of the description in the specification should contain the name and address of the International Depository Authority and date and number of deposition of the biological material. If such biological material is already known, in such case, it is not essential to deposit the same. So if that particular biological material is already been submitted in the IDA, so it may not be included. But if the biological material is a new one, it has to be submitted because all the properties has to be there. Means it has to be deposited so that if anything happens, they have the material to understand its properties. So more information can be obtained in that ipindia.nic.in. So what are the places where we can submit and what are the ways we can submit the things? All the details are available in that particular website. So is there any International Depository Authority of India? Yes. There is an International Depository Authority in India located at Chandigarh, which is known as Institute of Microbial Technology, IMTech. So this biological materials, if it is related to the particular research for which we are going for patenting, that material, if it is new, has to be submitted to Institute of Microbial Technology, that is in Chandigarh. So these are the various queries, questions, and the various answers related to patent. So now we'll just see the Indian patent application timeline. As I told that this patenting process is quite lengthy one. So it takes, there are two routes actually. One is the faster route, one is the normal route. So as you can see, the top one is the faster route. So the faster route also, it takes 2 years normally, and the normal route, it takes normally 3.5 years to 6 years for granting the patent. So if you are applying for the patent, so we may expect normal route, we may get within 3.5 to 6 years time. So it's a lengthy time. So, but patent has its own benefit. So people go for patent. So we'll just see that in the normal route, first is the complete specification filing date, and next is the within 18 months usual publication and request for examination filed within 48 months from the date of filing. And then within 3 months, normally the first examination reports is given to the patentee. And then within 3 months, the respondee has patentee has to respond to that particular one. And after getting the response within the next 6 months, the authority do the hearing. And after 4 months, they intimate the grant. And then after 4 months, they grant the certificate. The patent is granted. So all these things takes normally 3.5 years to 6 years. So in the faster route, the first part is that 18 months period can be squeezed to 1 month. So in this, request for early publication and request for examination is filed. So early publications, if it is there, then the other things are similar. So whole process will take nearly 2 years. So this way, a person can go for patent application and having the patent. So this much I wanted to share today. Thank you.